Okay, now I get a picture. Need to use. Some security picture. It can wait. So,
One of the automation. One of the automation. So hey guys, for those who know me and who know me, hi, my name is Sonam Bhatia and welcome back to Cloud with Bhatia साहब. So जैसा कि आपने थंबनेल से देख लिया होगा, टाइटल से पढ़ लिया होगा कि आज हमारी पॉडकास्ट सीरीज का 3rd एपिसोड है. So the person who is coming today for the podcast is very humble, very down to earth person and is very polite. उनसे बात करके तो बिल्कुल एकदम मज़ा आता है. बट जो चीज़ मैंने आज खुद अपने आई से देखी तो एक और लेवल ऑफ अप्रेजमेंट हो गई मेरे एंड से, या मेरे को एक रिस्पेक्ट ऑलरेडी है, बट जो लेवल की टचनेस आती है तो उनके एक जेस्चर से देख के आई गेट इट वेरी वेल कि हाउ द पर्सन इज इनसाइड राइट नाउ. बाकी उनके साथ बहुत बहुत ही प्यारी बातें हुई आज हमारी. सो विदाउट एनी फर्दर ड्यू आई लाइक टू इंट्रोड्यूस अभिषेक फॉर द चैनल कमिंग. सो अभिषेक इज currently a director and working in Syfe and priorly already worked in for Zomato and Paytm like company. So without any ado, let's call him for the podcast and know how his journey has been, how we can learn from his journey, and how we can make changes in our current journey and to become a cloud and DevOps or an SRE or an platform engineer. So without any further ado, let's jump into the podcast.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो.
So hey guys, for those who know me and don't know me, hi, my name is Sonam Bhatia and welcome back to Cloud with Bhatia sir. मैं इंट्रो ऑलरेडी दे चुका हूँ, but still I like to introduce Abhishek once again. So hi Abhishek, welcome to the channel for the first time.
Thanks.
So Abhishek and me met with the help of the community, only with the cloud native community that you already are known. Abhishek is working as a director in Syfe. So आपके बारे में थोड़ी आप भी बताओ कि कैसे आपका प्रॉपर जर्नी रहा अभी तक का.
First of all, thanks for having me here. And yeah, so far I think it's have been a fascinating journey. I never dream of this journey, but this is happening. So yep, I think humble background, humble start, and from there I think it was just focus on work and opportunities, like how to get right opportunity at the right time, and it just works well, and I'm here. So I started as a system administrator, which that profile is right now not exist in the market in most of the companies. So started as system admin and started in 2012-13, when I think back then it was a good profile, and started as a mostly Linux administration work, where you write lot of cron jobs, you write lot of IP table tools, define lot of policies directly via the consoles, and mostly your time goes into be there in some SSL sessions rather than at home. So that's your new home, just SSL sessions. And I think from there I see opportunity of automations. People, there were good tools, good companies around which were doing automations. For example, Puppet was there and Chef was there, which some of the people were using it and calling themselves DevOps. So that kind of thing looks good to me, and I kind of grabbed that opportunity. I started working for Puppet. I try to learn more into the automations and see like how to automate my daily routines, and that's how it's all started. So it's kind of a mindset that shift, right? Because I was doing kind of a Linux system admin work, daily routine jobs, right? What a admin need to do, giving some access, giving some permissions, setting some IP tables rule, that's all, right? But then I feel यार सारा टाइम तो इसी में ही जा रहा है, then how to like optimize myself, how to optimize my work, and that kind of things trigger a chain of reactions and shift in the thinking process.
Nice. So like approach था कि आगे कुछ changes लाने हैं, same चीज करके थक गए थे आप.
Right, kind of lazy person. So I don't want to do same stuff daily, and I think that's where actual DevOps started. Because if you call yourself DevOps, you want to be in DevOps, you want to grow into that career. So you kind of be lazy in some kind of things. You need to continuously having a process like how to not do same things back to back. And अभी भी मेरे को whenever I think about these things, it irritates me if I'm doing kind of the same thing multiple times in a day, multiple times in a week. Multiple times in a year is fine. I don't want to automate. So guys, don't automate everything. So some things is still fine to do manually if you are not doing it very much low frequency. But if you are doing it daily and you are want to automate, make yourself more productive, then think of automate, how you can automate.
Right, definitely. Like आपको almost 3 years almost complete हो गया साइफ में, और आपने already like Zomato, Paytm, प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड सारे अच्छे स्टार्टअप्स थे, तो वहाँ पे आपका कैसा like रोल रहा कि आपने क्या इनोवेटिव लर्निंग करी और आपके बेस से प्रोडक्ट को इतनी हेल्प करी ग्रोथ के टाइम पे?
Right. I think these companies shape me what I am currently, and I think of course जब आप कंपनी स्विच करते हो, इट जस्ट नॉट यू आर स्विचिंग ए कंपनी, यू आर जस्ट शिफ्टिंग ए कल्चर. कंपनी बड़ी कंपनियों में तो और भी ज़्यादा बड़ी चीज़ें होंगी, लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू नेम पेटीएम एंड जोमेटो, ऑफ कोर्स you are working with very a really good set of people, right? And they are whenever you see around, you will find talent roaming around, right? They are different type of people. They have different kind of talent set. Okay, now I get a picture. It can wait.
One of the automation. So ये क्या था basically?
Yeah. So right now I'm also L1 for one of my team channel. So just get a visa. It can wait, no better than so this technology will check.
L1 like support level for support.
Yeah. So basically we kind of define multiple levels of escalations in case of a pager come, and that define like L1, L2, L3. So at which level you are. So we do it rotational basis. So right now I'm working L1. Over the time I will be L2. Next week I will be L3, and it will keep rotating. So that's why everyone gets some hands-on on the like how the production burning issue feels like, and then they get their hands dirty and then fix them out.
It's a like 24/7 like rotation thing.
Yeah.
So now you are in this like normal Indian time.
For next 7 days. Yes.
So you get this pager in the late night also sometimes.
Anytime, 24/7.
So like whosoever is like being in that timeline, वो करता है उसको resolve.
Right.
Yeah, आप करते हैं कि team resolve करती है?
So again, the responsibility is to acknowledge and make sure you are taking the right action at the right time. We understand like sometimes you might not have context, right? So you are not the right person for solving that issue, and as per me, at this time you don't have to be a hero. You just
समझ रहे हो समझ रहे हो आप? समझ रहे हो?
need to escalate it to right person. So the person's responsibility is to make sure that the issue is getting resolved timely rather than just acknowledging and fixing it.
Right.
So yeah.
सो बट एक वैसे पॉइंट होता है कि जैसे अगर मेरे को कोई नई चीज ट्रिगर हुई फर्स्ट टाइम, सो डायरेक्टली आई एम नोइंग दैट कि मेरे से हो नहीं पाएगा, बट फिर पॉजिटिव अप्रोच भी तो क्या होनी चाहिए, लाइक एक बार उसको नोट डाउन कर लिया कि फॉर द टाइम बिंग राइट पर्सन को राउट आउट कर दिया, बट उसकी लर्निंग उससे सीखनी जरूर होगी, क्योंकि अगर फ्यूचर में ही आता है, दो हम स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर बनाते हैं इन सबको कैसे रिजॉल्व टीम अपने आप खुद करे, ज्यादा हमारे पास एस्केलेशन आए, बट स्टिल अगर इनसे मेरे को सीखना हो कि फर्स्ट टाइम आया मेरे को कि मेरे टैकल कर रहा है, तो मैं कैसे करूँ, मतलब शुड आई लाइक फर्स्ट ट्राई फ्रॉम माइंड और डायरेक्टली एक्सप्लेन कर लूँ सीधा, मतलब देखना भी नहीं उस चीज को, भाई मेरे को नहीं आता आगे तो
Right. So really good question, I think, and that's how people get struggle into this thing. Yeah, should I acknowledge and fix this, or should I just escalate it? So the question again is like, if you don't have context, what I should do, even though I have SOP in place, a standard operating procedure, right? If you have a standard operating procedure in place, and that issue is mentioned over the standard operating procedure, and because someone has created the SOP so that people don't have to escalate it, they can resolve it. So and the SOP mean like it should work, right? सभी बना दिया SOP, पता लगा कि वो 2 साल पहले बनी थी, आज तो वो एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करती रही. Assuming like SOP is workable SOP. So the suggestion from my side would be like follow the SOP and then take action. If any point of time you feel SOP is not updated or may not be working as you are thinking, and you are having some doubt like to following the SOP or maybe for queries, so then don't waste time on this. Just escalate, because there might be the right person who has the right context and can solve in potential critical issue for you. Right? At this point of time, you might not aware how much critical the system or maybe pager may be. So this may these things comes with context, time you spend in the company or maybe your experience. So again, don't be a hero. Just acknowledge that fact you don't know about this at the moment and escalate it. Now, second part of this problem is ki you need to also learn this. So from the next time you don't have to escalate it. So then try to shadow this issue with that senior member who is trying to resolve this issue. If possible, be on the call with that person remotely or directly, and try to observe how and what that person is doing to resolve this particular issue. That will bring a lot of learning towards you, because you know now you are seeing those things directly, and then you will understand like what might be the right step to solve this problem for the next time.
Mostly we do follow this all thing in our code, but sometimes we do get like off the track that we shouldn't do this escalated this, could we get resolved by other people. But shadowing is a good point, it definitely to have a key to learn. Obviously shadowing is the one good thing, and I never बुरा नहीं लगता कि नहीं आता, पर सीखने को तो है ना कुछ नया. सो आपका लाइक आप ऑलरेडी क्लाउड डेवऑप्स है, तो बट इसके अंदर भी कई सारे सेगमेंट हो जाते हैं, तो आपका लाइक कौन सा फेवरेट पार्ट होता है कि मेरे को ऑटोमेशन में या ऑब्जर्वेबिलिटी में मॉनिटरिंग में किस में मजा आता है? दो हमने आपको सुना रहता है किसी पॉइंट पे से लाके
I think I don't have any bias in any topic, so मेरे को I kind of like each and every aspect of the work what I'm doing. But I think everything started with automation. So things which I really like is automation. Like I hate doing some operation work, and I want to. I'm always looking for scope of improvement into automations and reducing the time taken to solve some problems. And when I say reducing the time, it doesn't need to be done by the automation. So sometimes we need to automate the process. Sometimes we need to automate the workflows. Sometimes we need to automate the people also. Automate the people, like if you are doing some clicks works, and you understand like how many clicks you have to make the process complete. So try to automate the clicks, right? And if you have a thinking process is built in, like if you need to take a judgmental call in to make it complete, so try to build that process in place which can take that call on your behalf. Things like we call it AI now, so you can build AI into your process, and sometimes you don't need kind of these fancy LLMs and all things to build a AI. You just need a data-driven approach. You just need to see like what type of data is essential to make you that decision, and once you understand that, this process is quite simple.
Right. तो ऑटोमेशन लाइक आप बोलते हो बट आप डायरेक्टर एंड मैनेजिंग लेवल पर, तो उस लेवल पे ऑटोमेशन इज पॉसिबल, लाइक जैसे हम डैशबोर्ड आपको टीम को मैनेज करना है, उनकी क्या प्रोडक्टिविटी है डेली बेस पे चेक करनी है, दो डैशबोर्ड्स होते हैं, लाइक आपका कमांड बोर्ड होता है या एजाइल मॉडल्स बोर्ड्स है जो आप कोई भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे तो मैनेज कर सकते हो, बट स्टिल होती है कि हमारे इस चीज़ में कोई ऑटोमेशन की मैं मैनेजिंग में ऑटोमेशन दे रहा हूँ, तो पॉसिबल होती है.
Of course, yes. So again, ऐसा मेरा मानना है कि once you start moving upwards into the management and new tools comes into picture, and I think some tools might not be built for automation. Maybe they don't support APIs, which you call APIs, so it's more difficult to do automate with those kind of tools which does not provide APIs. So again, that is a problem, and I think then you hate those tools. So the solution is to try to replace those tools which can make you productive, right? Use those tools which make you productive, and remove those tools which are making you unproductive. This is one, and second is yes, because as a manager, I don't have to track each and every step of my people. It's just that again I can automate these things. For example, I probably don't have to track what is my average velocity, right? I just need to track like if my velocity is decreasing at a certain threshold, then I just need to know like it is decreasing, and then probably I need to take action. So in this case, probably I will alert on something like if this particular thing go within this threshold, below this threshold, then I need to take some manual call. If it's working at this threshold, it's fine. If it's going above this threshold, then I should also look into this matter. Why this velocity suddenly increased, right? So there are ways to make those decisions, and I think you have to see how you are taking those judgment calls, right? And then see if you can automate this or not. That's all.
आजकल जैसे क्वेश्चंस है कि क्लाउड इंजीनियर, डेवऑप्स, प्लेटफॉर्म, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, तो इन सब में मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि कई बार के डेवऑप्स में और प्लेटफॉर्म में तो दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या आता है? बेसिकली प्लेटफॉर्म इंजीनियर क्या कर रहा है डेली बेसिस पे और डेवऑप्स इंजीनियर क्या कर रहा है?
And this is a very, I think, general question at the moment, because there are a lot of companies which offer different kind of fancy roles, and I think people get confused. I have seen people who have title of SRE engineer, and they are just working as a NOC people.
NOC engineer.
NOC engineer, right? I have seen like when they introduced to the company, they told them like you are going to be SRE engineer. Once they go into the company, they see they just need to see some dashboards, or they just resolve some alerts. They don't have any admin access, they don't have any escalated privilege. They just need to follow the dashboard, and in case of some issue come, just escalate to this person. That's all, and that's what NOC person do. So I think right now there is no clear answer, but as per my personal experience, my knowledge, I would say कि right now DevOps and platform engineers are two different profiles. Mostly DevOps people get engaged with your developers to understand the problem related to development and automate the development. Most of the time they are engaging with CI/CD pipelines, automations to ship your code faster, as well as automate things around this. Now, platform engineering is kind of bit different with this maybe or may not be with the same final solution. For example, a platform engineer is one who is creating some kind of platform which is helping a DevOps engineer to do automation. So platform team focus should be building right dashboards, right automation to some set of people, but they have to understand that probably they won't be use this thing. So they are kind of a developer to the people, or developer to the infra people, or developer to the company. They are building something which they won't use, but they will manage as a product, and mostly the consumer of these tools are either engineers working into development or working into infra or DevOps.
Right, definitely. The perfect answer to my question. Like मैं अभी भी जब आया एकदम से आपसे मिला, I love that the way when the like big person, I would say big person, but my manager, upper manager is sitting with me one-on-one, seeing my thing, guiding me, like how does you learn this thing? Like I had seen this thing very often in one of the like senior VP, he like I will tell them about the person later on, but आपको ये कैसे लगा? तो मेरे को तो अच्छा लगा आपको भी कोई ऐसे देखते हुए कि कोई बड़ा पोजीशन का बंदा है हमारे साथ बैठा हुआ है, चीजें सीख रहा है या हमें बता रहा है, तो हाउ यू reduce this gap between you and your teammates and the folks in the teams?
I think by default there is no gap. It's your mentality, and probably at some point of time you will create those thin layers between you and some other things. When we are talking here right now, there is no junior senior, right? But let's say I ask your experience, then I tell my experience, work experience, and then I will start just comparing the work experience of you and me. So I will found like my work experience might be larger than yours, and then I can make a thin wall in between us. Yeah, I am a senior person, and then these things started. Like I assume that I am more senior, so I should do something or not do something, and then start making behavioral change, right? I will behave differently. So first of all, in your mindset, you have to be clear there is by default no barrier in between, and most of the time it is the senior members who create those barriers rather than junior members. By default, junior members understand this thing कि यार senior member है थोड़ा सा, so probably he will have more experience, and they also have some fear in their mind कि यार उसके सामने कैसे behave करें और कैसे behave करें. And as a responsible senior member, उसका duty होना चाहिए कि they should reduce that gap जो वो उसने अपने दिमाग में बनाया है. Make them comfortable to and welcome them to do some mistakes and acknowledge that mistake, because then they will be able to think clear in their mind, and from there they can do innovations. But if you have a thin layer in between, you block them, and उसको थोड़ा forcibly ऐसा बोलूं कि उसके दिमाग में कुछ डर है, fear है, तो then by default it will block the innovation, and by indirectly it will impact you as a manager or impact your organization, because then they will be less innovative.
Right.
So I think solution here is for the senior members only. They have to make them comfortable, make them understand their mistake, and guide them time to time, and allow them to do some mistakes. Have some kind of error budget. In observability we call it error budget. So have some scope of error budget. So within that scope they can make certain errors, and then rather than making blame or उनको बोलना कि भाई this is just because of this reason, because you were not doing this well. Understand this is might not be a person problem, it might be a process problem, and try to blame the process rather than the person. And once we start fixing the this thing set of mind, like this is not the person problem, you will understand here when it's a process problem, then sometimes responsibility comes to manager only, like you need to improve the process, and then this thing will make you understand, like from the starting it was not the person problem, it was might be a manager problem because they had not set the right process and right guidelines for the certain people, and then it will make you humble because now it's your mistake.
Everyone understands that.
Right. So over the time we need to just work on optimizing this part, like optimize the process, and then do the right RCH, find the right action items, and then work on the action items, and this is a continuous process. That's all.
So जैसे कि आजकल मैं थोड़ा टेक्निकली साइड पे जाता हूँ एक पॉइंट पे कि आजकल बहुत सारे टूल्स हैं मार्केट में, आपके खुद के प्रोडक्शन में बहुत सारे टूल्स होते हैं. सो एक कैसे इंजीनियर को अप्रोच रखनी चाहिए अपनी लर्निंग को भी और प्रोडक्शन को माइंड में रखते हुए कि अब मार्केट ट्रेंड के हिसाब से जाना चाहिए या जो चीज़ ऑलरेडी चीज़ मार्केट में टाइम से फॉलो हो रही है उसी को रखना चाहिए.
राइट. आई थिंक अगेन यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ों का डिपेंड करेगा कि व्हाट यू वांट टू बी इन योर फ्यूचर, राइट. लेट्स से आई एम वर्किंग एज ए डेवऑप्स इंजीनियर एंड देयर इज ए different type of observability tools in the market, right? So should I focus to learn the tool or should I focus on learn the process, right? The difference is once you focus on learning the tool, your learning will be limited. For example, now you start doing some kind of POC and learnings, and then you see that Prometheus is a good tool. And then you fixated that I would learn Prometheus, right? You learn Prometheus. So what you learn out of this? You learn how to install the Prometheus, or you learn how to query the Prometheus, or you go into that and understand the architecture behind this. What makes Prometheus a good tool? And once you understand that logic, why Prometheus is a good tool and why not, you would be able to compare this across different solutions in the market. Right? Then your thinking process will evolve. ये Prometheus जो है ये Datadog से या फिर अदर एंटरप्राइज टूल या अदर ओपन सोर्स टूल इन द मार्केट ये कैसे अच्छा है और बेकार है. And then you can put context around this. Context means like in your organization, which tool is fitting to my use case. For example, Prometheus is not for every company, right? Same like you might have heard this before or maybe seen this before in the blogs. Kubernetes is not for each and every company, right? Some people don't need that, don't have that kind of problem in their hand. They need to run Kubernetes, and that's where in market there are other solutions available. For example, Fargate is there. There some people can run serverless. There are different kind of different cloud platform which provide you different kind of compute resources. So you don't have to build or invent things from the scratch, but you need to understand the problem in your current setup.
Right.
So again, the question was on the learning. So first of all, you need to define why you are learning. Are you learning for yourself or are you learning for solving something for your company? If you are learning to solve something for your company, so maximum hands-on would help you out, right? क्योंकि अगर ऐसे मैं चाहता हूँ कि I would learn, for example, any language, coding language, and I think let's say I call it Rust. I want to learn Rust, right? But the maximum learning will come if I will be able to do practical implementation of Rust.
Right.
मैंने Rust तो सीखी, but I did not get time. And it's a very common problem if the developer is working or engineers are working, they may be more engaged into their day-to-day office routine, may not get time to do personal projects. So probably मैंने Rust तो सीखी, but I did not do any kind of implementation. Or even though I did a very small kind of a POC जिसको कोई यूज भी नहीं कर रहा. मैंने दो जॉब लिखी hello world, blah blah, and then I used it and it works. So मैंने रस्ट सीख ली क्या?
नहीं.
So same. So but again, if some use case there is available in the company, and it said ki if you will learn this particular language, or already your company is using Golang or Rust, whatever it is, and you learn that language rather than Rust, your company use Golang, and you learn Golang, you go into the depth of the Golang, and then you by default have a practical knowledge in front of you. You can put the practical solution into your current project, current product, current company, and then practically see कि यार वो कैसे behave करेगा response, and then it will give you maximum learning.
Right.
So optimize for the problem and optimize for the stack that you currently have. And if you are just learning for yourself, right, so then it doesn't matter. But the suggestion from my side would be कि rather than learning the tool, just learn like the problem statement that what you are trying to solve, and maybe it will increase the learning.
Definitely. जैसे हमने भी अपने बात करी थी, जैसे हम कई ऐसा नहीं है 3:30 बट काम 9 का कर रहे हैं, बट ऑल ऑफ अ सडन दे गॉट स्टक इन दैट. अब एकदम से एक साल वहाँ मतलब टाइम स्पेंड हो गया, फिर वो ये आउट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस हो गया उस चीज़ के लिए, या कोई स्टार्ट कर रहा है इस टाइम पे, दे गॉट स्टक इन दैट सर्विस लाइक जॉब ओनली कि वी नो अबाउट आवर बैकग्राउंड इज क्लाउड एंड डेवऑप्स, बट हमें आज तक उस पर काम ऐसा मिला ही नहीं.
Right.
तो अब कैसे हमारी लर्निंग का जैसे कोई होना चाहिए वे कि सो दैट अब अगर हम कुछ हमें करते ही रहेंगे आगे लाइफ में, वरना ग्रोथ तो है ही नहीं. अब ग्रोथ के लिए हम क्या करें, तो कैसे टूल्स को पढ़ के लाइक नॉर्मल कोर्सेज को ओवरव्यू डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करके स्टार्ट करते हैं इंटरव्यूज के लिए प्रिपरेशन, और देखिए दूसरी जॉब सर्च करें जहाँ पे ये काम अब असली में इम्प्लीमेंट होता है, और बाय फॉर टचवुड को पहुंच भी जाता है कोई पर्सन, तो उसको आगे क्या चैलेंजेस आने वाले हैं कि प्रोफाइल के हिसाब से दे अप्लाइड फॉर डिफरेंट थिंग एंड नाउ अब वो सही प्रोफाइल में है, अब उसके चैलेंजेस बोलने वाले हैं.
I think yes, जो solution approach है that is same. If you are stuck into a role which you don't like, so improve yourself, right? Make your learning more priority, and understand कि किस role में जाना चाहते हो, उसके ask क्या है. For example, you are stuck into a node role, and you don't have. First of all, there might be two scenarios. One, you already have that skill set, which make you a good SRE, and one may be you are not have that kind of right knowledge or right skill set in place, which make you a good SRE. So acknowledge that fact first, and do a self evaluation where you stand. So मान लेते हैं कि you are a good SRE by default, you can switch. So it's a happy case scenario. You can directly switch to any company. You will start doing interviews, and you will switch, and over the time you will be at the right role.
Right.
दूसरा केस है वो जिसमें you don't have the right skill sets, right?
Right.
So you need to acknowledge that fact first कि भाई मेरे को अभी नहीं आता है. Then make a plan कि भाई मेरे को क्या सीखना है, so that I can crack the interview and go to the right company where I can implement those tools. तो मान लेते हैं now you learn some tools which help you crack some interviews, and then you go to the new company. तो वहाँ पे थे कि लाइक अगर आप कंपनी स्विच भी कर लेते हो, एंड यू माइट not have that kind of practical experience, you crack the interview because you know to crack the interview, but you don't have skill to have the implementation, the practical implementation. तो क्या चैलेंज आएंगे सबसे बड़ा कि you will find yourself like scope out होएगा आपका, zoom out होएगा, like you won't be able to find practical implementation of the things that you may have taught in the interview, and for the shorter time it may be a load for you, load for your mind कि जैसे मेरे को तो ये सब एक्सपेक्टेशन में नहीं था कि भाई इतना बड़ा टूल्स आ जाएंगे, इतने सारे सर्विसेज और नई चीज़ें आ जाएंगी which I don't know. Then the advice for those kind of people would be कि prioritize the learning. Things which you already know, try to pick problems around those things and try to do some implementation around this. Don't be hero again, क्योंकि you know that you don't know.
Right.
So don't be a hero and take your peers' help, your manager's help. If you in the right company, right set with the right set of people, so they will help you. Call out for the help, right? So if you will go to your peers and will acknowledge the fact that you don't know, they will probably, right? If they are the people, they will probably help you out, right? And but if you put the wrong implementation in place without taking feedback, without taking help, so probably it will worse the situation, because you by default are trying to be hero, even though you don't know, you are saying that this is right, and you are will probably try to fixate on this. Yeah, he saying here. So don't do that. Acknowledge the fact and then prioritize your learning and pick items which you feel comfortable कि यार ये मेरे को लगता है कि maximum मैंने इस पे अच्छा पढ़ा है, I would be able to implement this practically.
तो ये कि बस don't be a hero.
नहीं, तो इसमें the outcome is like कि acknowledge the fact that you don't know, क्योंकि उससे ही आपको ये समझ में आएगा कि भाई यहाँ पे मेरे को काम करना है.
बाकी माइंडसेट सबका वो है कि एवरीवन नॉट एक्सपर्ट, तो सब हेल्पिंग नेचर के होते ही है.
Right. So industry is quite diverse in nature and it's a very small industry. Like अभी भी हम देखें तो इंजीनियर की बात करें तो हमें इतने इंजीनियर मिल जाएंगे, but once you start going into the enterprises and companies, तो you will know कि यार लिमिटेड सेट ही पीपल लोग हैं जो बार बार देखेंगे आपको अलग अलग जगह पे अलग अलग तरीके के काम करते हुए. एंड वो इंडस्ट्री छोटी है. लाइक अगर आपने किसी में आपने फर्स्ट कंपनी में काम किया तो हो सकता है वो आपको थर्ड कंपनी में मिल जाए, फिफ्थ कंपनी में मिल जाए, सेवंथ कंपनी में मिल जाए, बट मिलेगा जरूर. ऐसा है कभी ना कभी, क्योंकि लाइफ इज लॉन्ग, राइट. तो पीपल रिलेशन इज ऑल्सो समथिंग दैट एक वो है कि अभी इतना वैल्यू नहीं होता है, बट दैट हेल्प्स. एंड योर पीयर्स, योर कलीग्स, चाहे वो कैसे भी हो, बट इफ यू हैव गुड रिलेशन विद देम, they are quite helpful with that.
तो आपने एग्जैक्टली डेवऑप्स या क्लाउड के अंदर कब स्विच किया था, लाइक आफ्टर सिस्टम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन?
Yes, so I think so I started system admin. I see the opportunity to learn automation. I learn a lot of languages and build lot of solution for my first company. Then they understand कि यार ये बंदा तो कर सकता है, like if we give it right set of problems. And then I started doing a lot of developments. So I was shifting from system admin to development. This time DevOps कुछ होता नहीं था. Right, but then I figured out कि यार नहीं, मेरे को development नहीं करना है. I don't want to be as a system admin kind of thing, but do a lot of things into the automations, into the DevOps. तो DevOps कहाँ से आया पिक्चर में? Then I search कि भाई system admin का जो plan क्या होता है. Then I get to know कि this is actually 2012-13, right? जब उस टाइम पे इंडिया में इतना ज़्यादा नहीं था, उस टाइम पे कंपनी भी स्टार्टअप बूम भी नहीं आया था जब तक. And like there was a company in Gurgaon which get good funding that time and still exist, and you can know, you if you will see my resume, you will understand which company I'm talking about. So there was a by default a role of DevOps there, and people were working as a DevOps engineer. So I get a opportunity to do interview with them, and once I go to the interview, they interview me and I get selected there. And they were having 3 teams. One is NOC team, second is system admin team, and third is full DevOps team, like they call it DevOps. So I was selected for system DevOps team because of my experience system DevOps, but this opened door for me to understand what the other set of people do. DevOps people do, like DevOps which are calling themselves DevOps, what they do versus what the system DevOps do. So SysOps and SysOps was also they call it DevOps also, and company was diverse, so team was divided across two regions. One is Bangalore, one is Delhi. So mostly DevOps people were in Bangalore, mostly SysOps and no people were in Gurgaon. And over the time I interact with them, I understand like what they are doing, and I understand कि उस टाइम पे जो major difference था वो यही था कि they were working on tool rather than working on platforms or working on system. तो उनकी set of tasks कि they will write Ansible, they will do ELK, they will do some kind of AWS automation. They will write the Moto library. 2014, 15, 16, like this time pay, like they were using as AWS. So and they were having their own data center, right? So I get a lot of practical hands-on, like how to build this data center, how to work with the data center. We have like 8 to 9 data center locations, and there were servers there. I got the chance to go to the data center, see the servers, how the server looked like actually, and it was quite cold. So if you ever go visit to the data center, we make sure that you don't have cold feet, then you will face a lot of problems. So I understand those things, like what they are doing, what DevOps is doing, and team was quite good, quite diverse, and they were helpful. So I learned a lot from them, those guys. And then I understand, like, yes, I can be a DevOps person because I can also do same kind of work that they were doing. So it's just a by default fear in my mind, यार मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा पहले, but then once I see them, I see यार ये भी आसान है, कुछ मुश्किल नहीं है, like it's just writing into code into the different language on different framework, right? So then once I understand this thing, so then things become easy for me, and from my next role, I start calling me DevOps and start interviewing into like same role. Like, and when I was interviewing, I was confident like yeah, I would be able to do this, and that's helped me to crack more interviews. I then choose the right set of company, right set of people, and then over the time, yes, opportunities helps me to learn more and more and more, and then my understanding of this space grows.
Because like I was like visiting your LinkedIn, so that Syfe is current, but like Zomato and Paytm is not a one small thing. It's just a big product. Like, right? These were the startups that got started, but now it's a big product. But like recently, like Paytm में एकदम से Paytm bank एक one of the horizon था way off. So but उधर भी ले so many people who were at DevOps in Paytm bank got laid off. So what like कैसा क्या मतलब एकदम से like doesn't Paytm doesn't have that support कि वो इतने engineers एक बैंक Paytm बैंक के modules को संभाल लेते हैं. It's that kind of fast thing. So like आपके टाइम से I know that आपने Paytm तो बहुत पहले drop कर दिया तो उससे पहले, but जैसे but आपको news आई होगी तो कोई पुराना colleague होगा they might have got into the line कि ऐसा हुआ, that's why we are here right now.
I think वो जो हुआ जिसकी वजह से आई थिंक बिजनेस का सिचुएशन हुआ, तो उसकी वजह से जो भी कॉल होंगी हार्ड कॉल, आई थिंक दे आर जस्टिफाइबल इन सम सेंस कि यार ठीक है, बिकॉज यू नो इफ देयर इज नो बिजनेस टू रन देन देयर इज नो पीपल needed to run those business, so by default layoff will happen. And I think again people now understand कि यार business का होना कितना जरूरी है, because we have seen lot of layoffs. Even people who have the good business, they are also laying off. तो इसमें कुछ इतना बड़ा बात नहीं है I think अभी, and the people even though they are again impacted, तो उनको इतना टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. It's by default not their problem. Because of not something they are doing wrong, they are getting rid of it. Sometimes it's just situation, they just need to accept this. But वो हुआ क्यों और कैसे हुआ और उसको कैसे optimal कर सकते थे, I don't have any say around this now. But over the time, when I was in Paytm, we were, I think, one of the largest organization probably in India, or maybe I will say in India also, like most of the countries, क्योंकि we were having the largest DevOps set of people in the company. How? So I think we were running a lot of servers on EC2, and I won't be able to call out it now, but it was quite big, and there was not one account, there were multiple AWS accounts. And there were different folks which are running different accounts, and they were all kept calling themselves DevOps. One time I calculated, so I found like we were having more than 300 DevOps engineers in the Paytm. Right.
So we can imagine how like big the infra was.
Yeah. Infra, team, process, lot of things.
So currently Syfe is also like cloud driven and single cloud driven or multi cloud driven?
Right. We are right now on single cloud, and it's a judgmental call, which if we go to the multi-cloud, then we have to spend more time understanding multiple clouds first. Second is because we want to first we acknowledge, if let's say we acknowledge the fact we want to have on this particular cloud, then we also need to accept the risk around this, because it comes with the risk, because you are not having to put a full dependency on that particular cloud. So if your company, your team can acknowledge that risk or accept that risk, then a lot of things can be easier for you. Then long term, you don't have to use different type of platforms, different type of modules, different type of maybe libraries, and learning curve for your team will be quite simple. They just need to understand single cloud and things which are available on that cloud, rather than building things across different clouds in different ways. And then again, जिसके लिए वो cloud multi-cloud approach थी वो खत्म हो जाता है. So I have seen this in the past. Some people are running some database into this cloud, some running this queue server into this cloud. Once something bad happens, तो कुछ उसका कुछ नहीं चल रहा है, इसका कुछ नहीं चल रहा है, and overall कुछ नहीं चल रहा है. So that's not how multi-cloud architecture gets started. So the idea towards multi-cloud is कि even one cloud down, your second cloud would run. And if you are doing that, so it will come with some cost, and you had to take that decision if you want to have acknowledge that cost, or you need to acknowledge the risk for having a single cloud.
But still, like, depending on just a single cloud is a big thing, that we are just depending on single. And if we are not comparing the expect of any kind of a resource, so also that, because I'm handling things that I see the numbers, like what they are having numbers and what our cloud can provide the numbers. So I know the difference. It depends on the team if they have the acknowledgement and if they are comfortable. So obviously management can take the action, because no one wants a higher ROI, but everyone knows the different cloud can give you a lower ROI, but it needs a proper management to manage it.
Right. I agree.
Thank you so much, Abhishek, for the time, for giving me the time. And काफी टाइम से डिले हो रहा था चीजें कि कब कोई करेगा, थर्ड वीक सेकेंड वीक करते करते मंथ ही हो गया, but अब at the end we have done that thing. So thank you so much everyone for tuning in to the Cloud with Bhate Sahab. ज्ञान की बातें संग with Bhate Sahab. The podcast goes like this. ज्ञान की बातें संग with Bhate Sahab. So बातें हो गई, ज्ञान मिल गया. Thank you so much guys for tuning in. I hope you liked the whole podcast. Do let me in the comment and tag Abhishek, आपने क्या learning करी, क्या और better approach हो सकती है कि हमको take forward करें चीजें. Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep watching Cloud with Bhate Sahab, and don't forget to like, share and comment. And मैं एक बार बोलता हूँ कि भाई प्लीज बेल आइकॉन प्रेस करना, कि पॉडकास्ट एक सीरीज है जो मैं बहुत मेहनत करता हूँ इसके लिए, लोगों को बुलाना, पूछना, कि उनकी नॉलेज से मेरे को काफी कुछ सीखने को मिल जाता है. लाइक अभिषेक 12 to 13 years के अंदर भी डायरेक्टर है. मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता कि मैं कभी प्लान करूंगा डायरेक्टर पहुंचने के लिए. कि इंजीनियर भी बन गए, अच्छे इंजीनियर हो जाए, अपने स्कोप में ही काम कर ले और एक अच्छे लेवल पे सेटअप हो कि बाकी हमारी नीड्स कंप्लीट है. एनीथिंग यू वांट टू इंक्लूड?
Guys, I think like, share, subscribe, and I think Bhate Sahab is doing good job here. So support him and keep learning. And I think जैसे वो बोलते हैं कि भाई ज्ञान के पीछे भागो, सक्सेस तो अपने आप आ जाएगी गट मार के. So I think that works.
Thank you so much.